Hello and welcome back to another Marvel Snap deck highlight video. Today we're going to be looking at Destroyer. So this is a Destroyer specific deck that only hits Colossus, so we're probably fine there. The idea with this deck is we have a bunch of cards that we are very okay with Destroyer hitting. In addition to that, we have a bunch of other destroy type cards, Venom, Carnage, and the like, in case we end up without the Destroyer in hand. Interesting. See, like, why do I never get that lucky? Like, that takes 17 turns to pop if I play them. Come on now. We also have a Professor X in the deck. That's more of a just-in-case kind of thing. If we have a lane we're very confident we're winning, like Icebox, for instance, we can slap them there. And that will pretty much lock down a lane. Destroyer is a 16 power card, so that tends to lock down a lane too. See, it's weird to play Galacta and then to play into that lane. Like, you could have played that anywhere else and it just would have been 3 more power. But hey, you know, you do you, bud. So, we lost middle here, because of dumb luck. But this will hit the Bucky, turn him into a 7. Won't kill anybody on right, and he's got to play an 11 power card over here in order to win. Cannonball. That is unfortunate because we're not killing him, but it really doesn't matter in the long run. That was kind of just there for fun. So that's that. This was an RHM deck, by the way, so take that with a grain of salt. Hopping into game 2. I'm going to have a very similar looking play line here. So this is a Destroyer specific deck. I put Destroyer in the deck and then kind of built around that. What cards am I okay with him hitting? Right, we have Colossus, who can't be destroyed. We have Nimrod, who splits. Wolverine, who gets bigger. X-23, who gives you an energy, which doesn't matter if that's on turn 6. But she moves as well. She stays on the board. Bucky, who becomes a 2/7. Nova, we're okay hitting. Professor X will lock the lane, so he won't really get hit. Basically, we just put a bunch of cards. We're okay getting destroyed. And then a couple backup cards in case we don't pull the Destroyer. So that's what the Carnage, the Venom, and the Attuma are for. They are cards that we stick down because we need a way. All of our deck is, we want to destroy this stuff. And we do a lot better when it is destroyed. So those give us other ways to destroy cards. We can pop the Nimrod early, which is super good. We can pop the Wolverine a couple times. Stuff like that. We're definitely playing Professor X here to just lock it in. Can't be destroyed, moved, or have its power reduced, so who cares if he's over there? He'll be fine. Beautiful. Another thing we can do is play the Attuma on 4, the Nimrod into that lane on 5, and then the Destroyer into that same lane on 6. That'll bounce the Nimrod around like 4,500 times, which is very strong. He will get destroyed by the Attuma, bounce around, and then get destroyed by the Destroyer twice, bounce around, and be destroyed by the Attuma again. So that just puts a lot of power spread throughout the board. Again, 16 power card, that's just big. It is unfortunate that he had a bunch of free swarms. I love the fast forward mechanic because I have no idea what my opponent has in their hand. That is my favorite thing. But even still, very close game. He played the Morbius and Collector in the same lane, so we kind of knew we were losing that one. Only won by 2 in the lane we contested, so not a bad showing. Here we go into game 3. Oh no, please don't. That's fine. That's a really good card for them to discard too, because I hate that. Yeah, so this is a variation that's very Destroyer specific. We are looking to nuke a bunch of cards. Honestly, there's not a whole lot of sub cards here. You can put in a Deathlock, you can put in I don't know, probably some other Destroyer cards. I wouldn't put in a Death necessarily. Our big move turn 6 is to play the Destroyer. Typically we won't have that many cards discarded or destroyed by that point. We might get a handful in, but it's not going to be anything crazy. What are we going to do here? We're just going to nuke a lane. Ooh. This hurts a little bit. That's just gonna get bigger, unfortunately. We're gonna just commit to middle. The Attuma, we're hoping hits the X-23, not the Angel. Okay, lovely. Yeah, that sucks. But here we are. So they're gonna have +2, so 19. This could be a +11. So they will have at most 30 power in there. What we can do is play the Nimrod middle. It's likely we don't do well into Sokovia, but we could potentially at least tie Luke's bar. They did snap, which probably means they have Dr. Doom in hand. So maybe I'll rethink that actually. And that gives us what? 6, 7, 8 power on left, plus wherever the Wolverine ends up. That does guarantee the win in middle, even if Bruce pops. We still do lose to the Dr. Doom unless the Wolverine stays left. Yeah, it's not Dr. Doom. Really? That's a really weird snap, then, in my opinion. He's obviously not playing full energy, hoping for the Bruce to pop. We're now at 31. Okay, now we're at 36, so we definitely win that. Beautiful. Yeah, so the Doombots are 3 power, so we 100% would have a... Just kidding, X-23 is an absolute legend. We would have won either way. The Nimrod would only have tied in Luke's bar and would have tied in Sokovia. And since we would be at, what, 29 middle, we would have won Breaker anyway. So we were kind of cooking no matter where our cards ended up there. Another nice thing about Angel, since we have him here in our starting deck, he flies out of your hand or deck So we don't even need to draw him, he just needs to exist somewhere. And if that happens, our first card we destroy, he will pop into the battlefield instead of, which is very nice. It's just a free card to play. That's a huge location for us. So at this point, if I wasn't an infinite, I would snap. I am an infinite, so who cares? But that is an incredibly good location for us. Yeah, we can do some shenanigans here. Question is, where do they play? They play middle. We're really looking to play the Professor X. The question is, where? Blade, they're running a Hela deck, and they discarded Hela. You hate to see that. Yeah, so we won this game because they discarded their Hela. That's really what that comes down to. We are going to lock down. Yeah, that's what I figured. As soon as the Hela gets discarded, you just quit as a Hela player. That is your... You have cards in your deck, and you always make sure you keep the Hela because that's your win condition. I get the Jubilee, right? Like, you have a bunch of big cards. So, cool, maybe I'll pull an Infinite. Maybe I'll pull my Death, my Magneto, whatever. But that is always the risk. That's why I don't personally like Jubilee in Hela decks, because it opens you up to that. Especially not in a Carnage. You think that's just weird. But hey, here we are. We will take the win. Hopping into our fifth and final game. Ooh. That's really good for destroy decks. That's... I have no idea what he's snapping on right now. Hopefully it's based on his title. That's a dumpster lane for us. I'm gonna put that over there. If we draw Destroyer, we're gonna play Nimrod into Bar Sinister. Otherwise, we're probably gonna play... it's one of those people. Ew, I hate it. Okay, well... So that's going to be 2, 4, 6, 8 minus 8 power to any and every card. Oh yeah, we're definitely Professor X in that lane. I am not dealing with that, thank you very much. Please go somewhere else. I guess it really doesn't matter, huh? We're getting hit 90 times. Yeah. Yeah, so we're losing this one. Unless this guy got the worst draw ever drawn. Like, there's no shot. Because this is going to be... If he has a Swarm in hand, this is going to be like a minus 8 power to every card we have. That's huge. That even doesn't discard anything there, actually. Ho-ho! Don't mind if I do. Yeah, so if he gets these to pop, which I have no reason to believe he won't, we're going to end up with a super big negative power on Vibranium Mines here. So we did lose this, but on the off chance we're luckier than him, I'm going to play it out. And he will not destroy himself this time, which is nice. I would say generally I'm not a fan of that rework, but it does let you do some cheesy stuff like this. Because what are you doing to beat 4 destroyers in a lane? Okay. Ooh, please don't hit anything good. Oh, that's really good that it hit, because the bullseyes would have discarded him. He has a Scorn. He has a Shard. discarded a blade. So each one of these is only hitting 1 now. So that is huge for us. Yeah, anytime you see a bullseye, you play around the assumption that there is a swarm about to get absolutely wrecked. When that doesn't happen, I mean, still really obnoxious. Like, dude, go away. But not nearly as oppressive as a card. So anyhow, undefeated with the Destroyer. It's because he's super good and not because we got a little bit lucky. But yeah, I think personally, I'm a fan of using Destroyer in not Destroyer decks. So just, he's a really big body. In stuff like a Surtur deck, you are running an armor and you're running a Cosmo anyway. So it's a lot easier to get away with him as a big card. But evidently he does work in a Destroyer specific deck because we kind of cooked. I'm guessing the early snap was he saw these two and was going to just spam shards and spam Gambit. That would have absolutely kicked our butt. That would have been like, oh, 4,000 power taken, and he'd have nuked 4 of our cards. So the lockdown, really useful tool. In addition to being Destroyer tech, it also is just like a, yeah, I don't want you to play into these. So, very good. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.